saying nothing. That's pretty funny.
6. Are you ready to start the intro video? She is ready to start the intro video. Go ahead.
Welcome to the City of Pinellas Parks City Council meeting. Our city offers superior parks, premium recreational services, exceptional public safety resources, optimal investment opportunities, and more. Our mayor and city council welcomes you to tonight's meeting.
Welcomes you.
Good evening. It is Thursday, March 9th of 2023. Calling to order our city council meeting. We will have an invocation and pledge of allegiance. Please rise if you wish. Heavenly Father, we ask that you guide us this evening as we go over the agenda that is before us, that we might choose to do what is best for the community as a whole. We ask that you watch over our citizens and our business community. We ask that you give a special blessing and healing to all of our employees. Please watch over our military, whether they are here or overseas, and their families, and keep them from harm's way. And we give a special blessing to those who have come back to our council meeting this evening. We ask of these things in thy name. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We do have a few presentations this evening. The very first thing that we're going to have is a video. And our Outstanding Employee of the Year, Mr. McKenzie. Please come forward. He looks good in his cowboy hat, doesn't he? Whereas congratulations and salutations are in order for Ronald McKenzie, an employee of the City of Pinellas Park, Florida. And whereas he has made extraordinary contributions to the city in his capacity as a police officer, garnering the respect and admiration of his fellow employees, supervisors, and city leaders. Whereas those contributions include his devotion by representing our city and our community in a professional manner, his willingness to assist others with enthusiasm and without hesitation, and continuous teamwork within his department, all of which have made him a valuable asset to the City of Pinellas Park. In his manners of job performance is a significant benefit to the city and serves as an example for emulation to other employees. He has been nominated and awarded Police Officer of the Year by his peers, selected by the Pinellas Park Rotary Club, and confirmed by the city manager as Outstanding City Employee of the Year. Therefore, I, Sandra Lee Bradbury, Mayor of the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim Ron McKenzie as Outstanding City Employee of the Year for 2023, and extend to him my personal congratulations and those of the City Council, city employees, and citizens of Pinellas Park. Ronald has earned our deepest respect and appreciation. We wish him continued success in his future endeavors. And witness, I set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, to be affixed on this 9th day of March of 2023. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You want to talk?
No, good. I talked out at the last 2 or 3. I'm going, okay. We all just know my partners should have been
Yes.
here, but
Yes.
there's a few obstacles in the way, so I left him back.
Do you
at
want
the
to
farm.
talk about your partner?
No,
No.
we gets talked about plenty.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mr. Aaron. Yes.
Gotta do a speech.
1 second. We'll start with the other one first. Aaron is up here for 2. So,
Scott Vanderveer will be joining us as well from Parks Department.
wonderful. Well, yeah, you should. This is a proclamation that we enjoy doing each year. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture a special day to be set aside for planting of trees. The holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nations and the world. The trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, lower our heating and cooling cost, moderate the temperatures, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. Trees in the city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of the business area, and beautify our community. Trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Therefore, I, Sandra Lee Bradbury, Mayor of the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim March 18th of 2023 as Arbor Day, and encourage the citizens of Pinellas Park to celebrate Arbor Day and support the efforts to protect our trees and woodlands and the plants and care of the trees. In witness, I set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, to be fixed on the 9th day of March of 2023. And I want to present this to both of you. Do we have anything special going on at Country in the Park for this?
Yeah, so at Country in the Park this year, we'll be celebrating Arbor Day with a tree sale. So I hope everyone can come down and check out the trees for sale and make a purchase. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott,
Aaron, I got a question for you.
Hey, Aaron.
Are we still Tree City, USA?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Just give me that in a minute. Well, Aaron's here for a couple of reasons tonight. This is to celebrate Aaron Peterson's 10-year milestone with the City of Pinellas Park and the Pinellas Park family. Aaron was hired in 2013 by Tom Nichols and Randy Roberts as a stormwater foreman in Public Works after a short stay with the City of Dunedin, their loss. The public service worker, as a public service worker before, we enticed him to the Pinellas Park family. Aaron quickly learned the ropes and gained the respect of his fellow staff by always going above and beyond the call of duty in his job. This quickly led to another promotion within 2 years. Ultimately, Aaron was promoted to Construction Service Director in Public Works. Aaron amplifies what it means to be a Pinellas Park family through his contributions to and within his prior division and by always being there for his colleagues, supervisors, and residents. He always has a working solution. It is best said, my favorite thing about the city is the family atmosphere and care and flexibility of the leadership. I also enjoy the movement and promotions that I have been honored with and that allow me to expand my knowledge and skills set in the city government. And of course, he keeps learning and keeps moving around in the city and helping us out. Recently, he joined his former community development cousins and served as the Assistant Community Development Administrator. He is continuing his hard work and dedication by bringing his talents to the planning, grants, and redevelopment and permitting side of the city. Today, we would like to express our gratitude for everything that he has done and accomplished, especially at his young age. And this is only 10 years, so I have you for another 20, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And our citizens, thank you. There we go. This is your 10-year pen.
Thank you.
And a goodie. We present this certificate of award to Aaron B. Peterson in appreciation and recognition of 10 years of continuous and loyal service as of the 25th day of February of 2023.
He has a speech too. He's got a speech.
Just say thank you to my leadership over all the years that's always supported me and trusted in me. Bart Diebold, Nick Colonna, Keith Sabile, Mr. Dan Hubbard. And thank you to Tom Nichols and Randy Roberts who hired me. Randy Roberts, thank you he's in the audience today, so thank you for coming to support me. He's retired now, but thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Oh, Mr. Pinellas Park was here.
What,
And
Randy?
the beer.
Oh. At this time, we open a section for our citizens to come up and speak on anything that is not on the agenda this evening, if anybody would like to do so. Seeing none? We got quasi-judicial, right? Yes. We do have a few quasi-judicial items, so those that are going to be speaking on these quasi-judicial items, please stand and be sworn in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Section 2, Approval of Minutes. Councilmember Butler.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion we approve regular council minutes of February 23rd, 2023 is on file in the city clerk's office.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
That was stuff.
There wasn't anybody. Moving on to Section 3, our public hearings, item P1.
Item P1 is consideration of a request for conditional use approval for an educational institution in the B1 General Commercial Zoning District with a waiver for the required minimum setback.
Thank you. Item P1's consideration of a request for conditional use. It's a continued public hearing first and final reading. It is quasi-judicial. I am turning it over to Erica and opening the public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'm Erica Lindquist, Planning and Development Services Director, presenting case number CU 1022-00003, also VAR 0122-00006. And some of this I'm going to go through rather quickly since you've seen most of the presentation before. The conditional use request is for approval of an educational institution in the B1 zoning district and with a waiver from the conditional use criteria for minimum setback of 25 feet from any property line. The variance request is to allow pavers within the side yard setback. And the property is located at 6500 102nd Avenue. So I'm going to move over to the previous site plan that you had seen at the last public hearing for this item. The proposed playground location is highlighted there in red. That was the previous location of the playground. And also you can see there the pavers where they encroach into the side yard setback. Now we have the updated site plan which was just received from the applicant, and the proposed playground location, you can see that it is moved over to the west side of the building. And also that playground would have an 8-foot tall fence with a locked gate. The paver area it's still in the same location. However, they are proposing to add a 6-foot tall fence with a locked gate for that area. And this just shows the entire site plan for the property. This photo shows the new proposed playground location. Again, it's on the west side of the building. And this is where the pavers encroach into that side yard setback, where they would now have a fence with a locked gate. And the B1 permitted and conditional uses. Educational institutions are a conditional use in this land use category. The review by Planning and Zoning Commission has been completed. The direct access into an arterial frontage or collector street criteria has been met. The use of the land shall be limited to accredited educational facilities, and that criteria has been met as well. Minimum setback of 25 feet from any property line. This is the one where they are asking for a waiver. The existing structure was constructed in accordance with B1 setback requirements, so does not meet that 25 feet from all property lines. And any playground, athletic field, or stadium shall be bordered by a wall or fence at least 8 feet in height. The applicant has applied for the permit for an 8-foot high fence around the playground. And staff has found this request to be consistent with the comprehensive plan and meets the general intent of the B1 zoning district. The proposed use meets a majority of the conditional use requirements and would meet parking requirements. The variance for the paved patio would be buffered from adjacent properties by a 6-foot high masonry wall. And staff recommends approval of both the conditional use and the variance. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval with the following condition. The paver and concrete area on the east side of the property, adjacent to the residential properties, shall not be used for an outdoor classroom area. It should be used by staff only. Thank you, and I am here for questions. The applicant is also here.
Thank you. Would the applicant like to come up and speak? Name and address for the record and whether you were sworn in or not.
Okay. Yeah, Matt Hammer, head of school. I've been sworn in. Live in Dunedin, Florida, 1600 Amberlea Drive. We've been around since about 2005. My role at the school has been basically carrying the torch of my mother and father-in-law who started the school. We got about 175 students, private K-12 school. All these items we agree with. We've met with the neighbors now a few times. I pray that when they talk that they'll also say that we, I think, came to an agreement. Everything's good. The playground will be blocked by the building, so we're hoping that all minimizes the noise. And then we're also praying for the paver area, but it will be blocked off. It will no longer be used as an outdoor kind of art classroom.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to come and speak for or against on this item? Ms. Pava, name and address for the record and whether you were sworn in or not.
I was sworn in. My name is Paulette Cohen. I reside at 6410 101st Avenue in Pinellas Park. I live approximately 500 feet from the property line of the subject site. My first comments are regarding the waiver of the required minimum setback of 25 feet from any property line. If the existing structures are set closer than 25 feet to a property line, then I believe that the motion by the City Council should actually stipulate the minimum required setbacks that must be maintained north, south, east, and west. Please don't just reduce all of the property lines from the minimum setback, even from 102nd Avenue, because there's no basis for that action. Several of the neighbors met on site with Matt Hammer on Tuesday. The new site plan relocates the playground to the west side of the school. I think it's a good change that will buffer the neighborhood from noise and activity of the playground. With regard to the variance hearing for this property, the Land Development Code defines variance. It's relief from certain requirements of this article where such variance will not be contrary to the public interest and where owing to conditions particular to the property and not the result of the actions of the applicant, a literal enforcement of those requirements would result in unnecessary and undue hardship. In other words, a variance request shall not be granted for a self-imposed action of the applicant. So in looking at the city's variance criteria, a literal interpretation of the provisions of the article would deprive the applicant of the rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same district. I'm not aware of circumstances where the zero setback for impervious surfaces along the side and lot lines is commonly enjoyed by B1 properties in the city. Criteria number 5 is that the requested variance is a minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land or building. It's my opinion that the applicant clearly has a reasonable use of the building and the parking lot for the primary use sought, which is a private educational institution for K through 12 students.
Is that for hers or for the other one? That was for you. If you don't mind wrapping it up, I'd appreciate it.
It's my opinion that this variance application should be denied. The existence of the paver area does not play a role and whether or not the property can be used for a commercial purpose or for a private K through 12 school. There's not a hardship. If the paver patio did not exist, there would still be a reasonable use of this property. By definition, this variance request is a self-imposed situation. Mr. Hammer stated in the last month's public hearing that the school installed the paver area adjacent to the R1 neighborhood. So all things aside, I'm sure the city council is not going to agree with me on this. So if you choose to grant the variance for the paver area that the school installed, could you please specify the size of the paver area that you're approving? Because the way the motion is sort of written right now, it's for the whole length of the side property line against the R1 neighborhood. And what will happen is this property owner, a future property owner, the paver area is going to get bigger, and we're going to have some stormwater problems in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to come up and speak on item P1, either for or against? Does the applicant have any additional information about the pavers that you would like to say?
Just that we're gonna gate off that area. It's not gonna be used for the students. The original complaint was that if the kids ate out there or had artwork out there, that especially the neighbors that were right there could hear the kids. So it's really not gonna be used much at all. I guess we're still hoping for the variance, but it's gonna be blocked off now. It's not even gonna be opened up.
Councilmember Mullins.
Would it be a problem, I got a question with for you. Would it be a big problem just to take the pavers out and make sure the drainage works good and make sure, I mean, if you're not gonna be using it for nothing, why keep it like that? They're pavers, if you wanted to put them out front someplace, make you a little patio out there or something, it'd be legal. They just seem to be a problem back there, and if they're not gonna be used for anything and they may cause drainage, why don't we just take them out?
I guess my only retort is that all of the water that flows down from the parking lot goes into a foot and a half, 2 foot pipe. So all the water flows into a pipe and goes to the back of the pond, the back of the school, and that goes out to the city. We spent considerable amount of money to get a swift mud exemption for that area.
Vice Mayor Seville?
Yes. The fence is only going to be at the north and south end of the patioed area?
The fence in there?
The chain link that you're going to put a lock in, is that just going to be at the north end?
Yes, that's going to block anybody from being able to get in there. And then in the back there, that leads to the pond and to the air conditioners in the back of the building. So there's no access for people to come around the other way because they'd have to go through a pond.
So at the south corner of the building, it wouldn't be reasonable to put the fence on the south corner of the building to the wall so that no children can go back there behind the building?
Which part are you?
The southeast corner of your building.
Okay, yeah.
Run the fence across there so no children can go back and behind the
That's what
building.
we're proposing. That's what we're proposing.
Oh, you're putting it there, not just where the patio area is?
No, yeah, it's going to block off your ability to get into the patio area.
All the way along the back of the building?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a pretty short area. So,
It's the length of the building, right?
yeah. The original idea was to have that open for an outdoor art room, but now we're just going to close it off to the students.
That's a good idea.
And I do see the drainage pipe that you're referring to that is supposed to collect rain from the parking lot, go through that pipe to the back. But my memory recalls there also was a swale in that area on the surface to help drain water to the pond in the back as well.
Absolutely.
That seems like it got filled in and then the pavers got put on it?
No, actually what happened was
Or over time it got filled in just from,
this gentleman actually,
dirt.
we had to dig out the area that allows water to go in, because it was covered up by.
wasn't
maybe
being
4
maintained
It
properly?
was not maintained at all. So he personally dug, I think, 5 feet of mud out of there and opened up that drainage area. It used to be covered when AMI kids owned the building. So we dug it up, and then now it's open so that all the water runs from the parking lot through that pipe along the side of the building all the way to the retention pond in the back.
Yeah, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, there used to be a ditch on that side of the property as well. What they call a swale, like a little sloping area to collect surface from the side of the building in between the building and the wall, and also carried that to that ditch area.
So as far as I know, we never.
Not that you necessarily did it, but with these pavers being there, it's hindering its purpose.
Okay.
I don't know how the rest of council feels, but I think that the pavers need to be moved to someplace else on the property for the teachers and staff to relax and get your original Swift Mud permit plans. They have them on file, and put the ditch back.
Okay. As far
It's
as I
over there.
know, we never filled in any.
I'm not
area
saying that you did, I'm just saying that there should be
Okay.
a little swale in that area to take the surface water from that area back to that.
When we
ditch.
moved in, it looked like a jungle, and it was it was actually probably, gosh, it was probably another 2-3 feet higher. So
Yeah.
before the pavers were put in,
Yeah.
2-3 feet higher than it was.
And that happens when people don't take care of the property,
That's
and
what
then a new
I
tenant
don't
comes
think it
in
was
and starts
maintained for
taking
a
care of the
decade,
property.
is my guess. Yeah.
So,
Can I say something?
name and address and whether you were sworn
My
in
name
or
is,
not.
Carl Steves, I'm the maintenance, building maintenance manager at the school. I live at 5885 99th Terrace in Pinellas Park. And I would just like to say that there never was back there any kind of a swill or anything there. And but we cleaned out that drain. We didn't even know that stuff was there. We were just trying to dig out leaves that had been accumulated over Lord knows how many years, just all decomposed vegetation. But where we put the pavers, we just put the pavers down. We did not fill anything in. If you look at the rest of the back of it, past the pavers, it's flat. And that's the way that was. It got elevated a little bit because of the pavers, but there was never any kind of a ditch or anything there. That was all eliminated when they put the pipe underground. Whoever
Well,
did that.
the pipe there takes water from the parking lot.
Correct.
That pipe there doesn't take care of the water from, that would accumulate there underneath the normal rain
drains.
store.
There's drains in that area.
On top of the pipes?
Yes,
Okay, so you're covering up those drains then?
there is it, because all the gutters from the roof drain into that pipe. They're all go down through.
I'm not sure if he heard you right. If you go towards the.
I see the drains from the,
Okay.
yeah.
There was no drain.
What is that called, a
anywhere
French
near Where the pavers were. There's one drain that's
Farther down.
really far down, close to where the pond is, the back pond.
About 2/3 of the way
It's like
down, there's a drain in the
about
ground.
this big.
And did you look at the plans that are on file with Swift Mud?
Yes, I mean, we had to hire an engineer and then go after an exemption because whoever put that pipe in and then whoever put the back pond in, there's no record of it. I don't know if it was done in the 80s. There's no paperwork on it.
So, Vice Mayor Seville.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So the roof drains, is there like 3 or 4 of them coming down the back of the building?
Thinking there's 4. Is there like the roof drains? I think.
The roof, yeah.
Now, do they
The roof pitches from from the west.
There's a picture of it here.
There's a gutter along the side of the building.
Right.
And there's downspouts that go directly into that pipe.
They go directly into, they don't drop on top of the
Yeah, the
patio.
roof does not drain onto the ground at all.
Three, four, five, maybe six. 2, 3, 5 or 6. Four? There's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But those are outside of that area, I think.
3 on the brick.
Councilwoman, you did have your light on before.
No, I'm
Do you
good.
have a question? You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any additional questions for the applicant? And I forgot to ask, you said your name and address. Were you sworn in? Did you stand up and get sworn in? Okay. It's kind of after the fact, but I thought. Thank you. I know. All righty. All righty. Anything else to add? No. Okay. I will, is there anybody else in the audience that has any questions or would like to state anything? No. All righty. I'm going to close the public hearing and, well, before I do that, this is just for the conditional use. Item P2 will be for the actual pavers on the side. And with this one, the conditional use, if I can just clarify with staff, is conditional use for the school with the stipulation that the playground is over on the west side of the building now.
The conditional use approval is for the school, it's for an educational institution, and you could make a condition that the playground be on the west side of the building as indicated in the site plan.
Thank you. Alrighty, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion by Councilmember Mullins.
This has got nothing to do with the pavers, just the school.
Nothing to do with the pavers, just it having the condition to have the school in that property.
I make a motion that we approve CU 1022-0003, continued public hearing, first and final reading, with the stipulation that the playground is to be placed where it's at on the paper we're looking at right now. Is that the best way to do it, lawyer?
Second.
We have a motion and a second,
I have a question.
and a question.
Are we going to allow the 25 feet setback from any property line, all the way around the property, or are we going to give them a variance on 10 foot along where the building runs?
Is that in this, or is that in the variance?
Is that,
I think
this
that's
one?
part of the variance. I do not believe that's part of the,
it's P1?
It is part of the conditional use criteria.
Right, it's in P1.
for the,
P1. Okay. It says it right there in the note.
I'll amend my motion to make this 25-foot setback for that partial only.
Concur.
What we're doing is keeping the minimum 25-foot setback requirement on the whole property, except we are going to give them a variance on 10 foot along where the building runs, 10 foot.
Just like he
Variance.
said. I would like to amend my motion for that. Second.
You second?
Yeah, concur.
he said concur. I heard him. So,
I heard him too, but I didn't know anybody
Yeah.
else did.
I did.
Would you like me to speak up?
You actually didn't have to this time. You're good practice. And that is for the 10-foot along the side of the building over there as it exists today.
Just where the building is.
Just where the building is, not the whole property.
Okay. Not counting anything being in that 10-foot area. Okay. All righty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Now we're moving on to item P2.
Item P2 is consideration of a request for a variance to allow pavers within the side yard setback for the property located at 6500 102nd Avenue North. And it's my understanding that the applicant has consented to have all the testimony that was presented in the prior public hearing incorporated into the record of this item as well, and that would include anybody that said anything. Is that correct? Okay. So, open the public hearing.
Okay. Item P2, consideration request for a variance, continued public hearing, first and final reading. It is also quasi-judicial. I am opening the public hearing and asking staff if there's any additional information to be provided that was not read earlier.
I'm Erica Lindquist, Planning and Development Services Director. I do not have any additional information, but we are here if you have questions.
Thank you. Does the applicant have anything additional to add that wasn't already stipulated in the previous conversations? Anybody in the audience that has anything additional to add that wasn't already previously stated? Mrs. Cohen. Name and address for the record and whether you were sworn in or not.
Yes, I was sworn in, Paula Cohen, 6410 100 First Avenue. I'm going to try to clarify the issue of the pavers one more time, and that is, if you read the staff report, they're indicating that the waiver or the hardship is for the entire length of the side property line in which impervious surface can be placed. What I was asking was, if you are going to allow the paver patio, to please just include only the size of the patio and not allow the impervious surface for the entire length of the side property line abutting the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to speak? Seeing none. Any questions by City Council and staff? Vice Mayor Seville? Oh, okay. Mullins, yeah. I do have a question of staff. Do we have stipulated in the new plan exactly what size that patio is?
We don't have the exact dimensions of the patio, but you could refer to the most recent site plan for the size as indicated on the site plan.
Thank you. And City Council have any other questions besides that? I love the school. My son went to the school. I appreciate the fact that they have moved and worked with the neighbors to move the playground. I think that you should move the patio. That is a very narrow area for maintenance of the building, of the concrete wall. I seriously believe that that needs to be left for drainage and to maintain the drainage that goes in that area. 10 feet's not really that much when it comes to drainage and mitigating that area. As stated, it wasn't your fault. There was a lot of cleanup that needed to be done. And Lord knows what other type of cleanup might need to be done in that drainage area over there. I, would think that it would be better for that patio to, because the patio was next to the playground to begin with, for that patio to be moved near the playground so that, when the teachers are relaxing and everything, that they can kind of keep an eye on the kids. So that's the way that I feel about the patio. Councilmember Mullins is ready to make a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, closing the public hearing.
Make a motion, we deny variance number 0122-00006. Continued public hearing, first and final reading.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion by City Council on item P2? All those in favor?
Aye.
For the denial? Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item P2, resolution number 23-05.
Item number P3.
Oh, 3, yes, that's correct.
Resolution number 23-05, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, approving the First Amendment to the development agreement between Namaste Homes LLC, Namaste 76 LLC, the Pinellas Park Community Redevelopment Agency, and the City of Pinellas Park for Artistry at Park Station, generally located south of 76th Avenue North, north of 75th Avenue North, east of 58th Street North, and west of 57th Street North, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P3, resolution number 23-05, public hearing, first and final reading. It is quasi-judicial. I am opening the public hearing and turn it over to Megan.
Good evening. My name is Megan Montesino, Development Review Manager, and I'll be presenting P3 and P4. Case numbers DA-1223-00001 and PUD-1223-00005. The request for the DA is to amend the Artistry at Park Station Development Agreement to reflect the change in use on Lot 27 from an art building to a live-work unit. And the PUD request is for a major planned unit development amendment to change the use on Lot 27 from an art building to a live-work unit. Shown here is an aerial, bubbled in red is Lot 27. Lot 27 is specifically located at 5731 75th Avenue. The land use is CRD. Zoning is MXD, Mixed Use District, with a mixed use PUD overlay. The flood zone is X, which is a low-risk flood zone. Shown here is the current master plan. Outlined in red is Lot 27 that shows as an art building. This is the proposed master plan that shows outlined in red the proposed live-work unit. This is just a close-up of what currently is approved versus what is proposed. The development agreement, the original development agreement was approved in 2020. It proposed 22 single-family detached dwelling unit lots and 5 live-work unit lots. The applicant is requesting the following amendments to the development agreement to change 5 live-work units to 6 live-work units, update Exhibit C, the conceptual site plan, and update Exhibit J, the construction phasing plan. The PUD was originally approved in 2020. It included 22 detached single-family homes, 5 live-work units, 2 existing buildings, and a proposed art building. The proposed PUD amendment will change Lot 27 from an art building to a live-work unit. It'll still have 22 detached single-family homes. It'll have 6 live-work units, and it'll still continue to have 2 existing buildings. The proposed development for Lot 27 will meet the approved PUD's minimum setbacks of 5 feet in the front yard, 0 feet on the rear and interior side, and 4 feet on the street. Maximum lot coverage for the site per code is 75%, and the overall proposed lot coverage for the PUD will be 52%. The proposal meets the intent of the MXD zoning per the Land Development Code. The proposal meets the applicable development standards for the existing MUPUD, and the development proposal is consistent with the comprehensive plan and CRA plan. Staff recommends approval of both cases for the DA and the PUD. P&Z on February 2nd recommended approval of both the DA and the PUD, and the CRA approved on February 21st, the development agreement. Staff is here as well as the applicant if you have any questions.
Thank you, Megan. And those, just to let you know, she was also one of the employees of the year as well. So,
thank you.
Would the applicant like to come up and speak?
Thank you. I don't wish to speak. The moment, but I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do you guys need his name? No. Okay, we're good. Alrighty, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion by Councilmember Mullins.
Yes, Mayor. Make a motion, we adopt resolution number 23-05, public hearing, first and final reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion by City Council on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Item P4, ordinance number 4184.
Ordinance number 4184, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a revised master plan controlling development of a mixed-use plan unit development, MUPUD, with underlying mixed-use district MXD zoning on a 1.2 acre parcel of land generally located south of 76th Avenue North, north of 75th Avenue North, east of 58th Street North, and west of 57th Street North, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, for change in use on Lot 27 located at 5731 75th Avenue North, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for appeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P4, ordinance number 4184's public hearing, second and final reading. I'm opening the public hearing and turning it over to Megan.
And if I may also on this one, the same as the first 1 and 2, that the staff has given a presentation. They may give an additional presentation, but it's my understanding that the applicant has consented that everything heard in the first public hearing or the last item would be incorporated into the record of this. Thank you.
I do not have anything additional to say, but staff is here, as well as the applicant, if you have any questions.
Okay. Does the applicant concur? Thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the audience? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion by Councilmember Mullins.
Yes, Mayor. Make a motion that we pass ordinance number 4184, public hearing, second and final reading.
Motion has been made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Moving on to item P5, ordinance number 4183.
Ordinance number 4183, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a revised master plan controlling development of a mixed-use plan unit development, MUPUD, with underlying mixed-use district MXD zoning on a 1.37 acre parcel of land generally located south of 76th Avenue North, north of 75th Avenue North, east of 58th Street North, and west of 57th Street North, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, for the expansion of the plan unit development PUD boundary to add 0.172 acres, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for appeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P5, ordinance number 4183's public hearing, first, second, and final reading. I am opening the public hearing and turning it over to Megan.
Good evening again. My name is Megan Montesino, Development Review Manager, and I will be presenting P5, which is case number PUD-1123-00001. The request is for a major amendment to the existing mixed-use planned unit development to increase the existing PUD by 0.172 to add Phase 5, which will include 4 3-story live-work units, and what will be proposed is commercial on the first floor and a residential unit above the commercial on the second and third floor. Shown here is an aerial of the site. Highlighted in green on the southwest corner is where Phase 5 will be located. It has a land use of CRD, and currently has a land use of MXD. Currently does not have the PUD overlay until it gets approved. The flood zone is X, which is a low-risk flood zone. Shown here is the current master plan for the PUD. You can see highlighted in green on the southwest corner is where the Phase 5 is proposed for the 4 units. This is the proposed master plan, where you can see again outlined in green is where Phase 5 will be located with the 4 units and 8 parking spaces. Shown here is a close-up of Phase 5, the site plan. Highlighted in purple are the 4 units. They will be townhome style, and highlighted in yellow are the 8 parking spaces, and the green area is the proposed landscaped areas. The commercial entrances for the first floor will be along 58th in the front, and the entrances for the residential units will be along the rear of the building. Shown here is an elevation. This is the front. This is what will be along 58th with the commercial on the first floor and the entrances. Shown here are the north and south, the sides of the building. Shown here is the rear of the building, where you'll see another access, and that leads to a staircase that goes up to the residential units. Shown here is level 1 of the floor plans. This is the commercial area. Shown here is the second floor. This is the first floor of the residential, which includes the kitchen, the living room, and a bathroom. The third floor, or second level of the residential, which includes bedrooms, an office, bathrooms, things like that. A summary: the existing artistry at Park Station PUD master plan was approved in 2020. It includes 22 single-family homes, 5 live-work units, 2 existing buildings, and 1 proposed art building. The PUD would add 0.172 acres for Phase 5, which includes the 4 3-story live-work units with commercial on the first floor and a residential unit above that on the second and third floor. The proposed PUD master plan will now include 22 single-family homes, 10 live-work units, and 2 existing buildings. The proposed development for Phase 5 will meet the approved PUD's minimum setbacks of 5 feet in the front yard, 0 feet on the sides and interior, or in the rear and interior sides, and 4 feet on the street side. 2 off-street parking spaces per live-work unit are provided for a total requirement of 8 off-street parking spaces. The maximum lot coverage allowed for the site is 75%. The proposed lot coverage for the entire PUD will be 55%. The proposal meets the intent of the MXD zoning per the Land Development Code. The proposal meets the applicable development standards for the existing MUPUD, and the development proposal is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the CRA plan. Staff recommends approval of PUD-1123-00001. Planning and Zoning Commission on February 2nd recommended approval of case number PUD-1123-00001. And staff is here, as well as the applicant, if you have any questions.
Excuse me, thank you. Item P5, ordinance number 4183's public hearing has been opened. Would the applicant like to come up and speak?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I don't want to add to the staff presentation. I am available for questions.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions on this item? Seeing none. City Council have any question? Councilmember Sabel?
Yes. The porches, are they only on the second floor?
Yeah, the balconies.
The balconies
yeah.
are only on the second floor, not on the third floor?
Glenn might be able to explain a little more.
That level above the orange and yellow, that's a balcony there.
Right.
It's on the second floor.
Yeah, so the first of the residential.
Right.
If you can give your name just for the
Sorry.
record.
Yes, since you're speaking officially.
Oh, sorry, I always forget. Glenn Larkin, representing Namaste Homes. My address is 4000 3rd Street North, St. Petersburg, and I have been sworn.
Thank you. Okay. So that's a balcony / porch for the second floor.
For the second floor. Those are where the living rooms are.
Mhm.
Right.
And the kitchen area.
Thank you.
And it's on the back side of the building.
All righty, any other questions? Seeing none, Councilmember Mullins.
Yes, Mayor.
Oh, I'm closing the public hearing.
Yes, Mayor, I make a motion, we pass ordinance number 4183, public hearing, second and final reading.
Second motion.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor? Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to section 4, our consent agenda, item C1.
Item C1 is authorization for the mayor to sign an annexation agreement for the voluntary annexation of 2.98 acres MOL of light industrial property owned by 5300 Flex LLC located at 5300 Almerton Road and the adjacent right-of-way. Item C2 is ordinance number 4185, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, annexing into the city a certain parcel of land generally located at 5300 Almerton Road together with the adjacent right-of-way of Almerton Road and legally described and depicted in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, providing for amendment of the legal description of the corporate boundaries of the city, providing for the assignment of city zoning classification, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances conflicting herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date. Item C3 is ordinance number 4186, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, amending the city's official land use plan map by providing the land use designation of Industrial Limited, IL, for certain lands generally located at 5300 Almerton Road and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for appeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date. Item C4 is ordinance number 4187, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a new master plan and supporting documentation to amend a residential planned unit development RPUD overlay with underlying multifamily residential R6 zoning on 2.76 acres of land located at 4210 78th Avenue North, 7745 42nd Lane North, 7739 42nd Lane North, 7733 42nd Lane North, 7727 42nd Lane North, 7721 42nd Lane North, 7715 42nd Lane North, 7709 42nd Lane North, 7691 42nd Lane North, 7685 42nd Lane North, 7679 42nd Lane North, 7673 42nd Lane North, 7667 42nd Lane North, 7661 42nd Lane North, 7655 42nd Lane North, 7643 42nd Lane North, 7637 42nd Lane North, 7631 42nd Lane North, 4625 42nd Lane North, 7619 42nd Lane North, 7613 42nd Lane North, 7607 42nd Lane North, and 7775 42nd Lane North, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date. Item C5 is authorization for the City of Pinellas Park to accept a utility easement from Pinellas Park Hospitality, LLC.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, we just want to do one correction. It was read as 4625 42nd Lane, and that should have been 7625.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item C6 is authorization for the City of Pinellas Park to accept a utility easement from GIB Properties LLC. Item C7 is authorization to purchase Cisco SmartNet maintenance renewals from CDW Inc. at a total cost of $56,760.97. Item C8 is authorization to award bid 22/009 for the annual Cured in Place Pipe CIPP lining to Cobra Environmental Inc. of Jupiter, Florida. Item C9 is authorization to award bid 22/009 for the annual Cured in Place Pipe CIPP lining to BLD Services LLC of Kenner, LA. Item C10 is authorization to award bid 22/008 for lift station number 5 and number 7 rehabilitation to Evolution Contracting LLC of Clearwater, Florida. Item C11 is authorization for the mayor to sign task order 02.2023 under the City of Pinellas Park RFP number 18/0122 Broderick Park Gym Edition renderings provided by B. Frank Studio LLC in the amount not to exceed $20,000. Item C12 is authorization for the mayor to sign task order 04/2023 for city buildings wind mitigation and self-sufficiency for RFP 21/006. Services will be provided by Pannoni Associates, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $105,720. Item C13 is authorization for emergency sewer repairs at the intersection of 70th Avenue North and 37th Street North to Roland, Inc. in the amount of $840,000. And that concludes tonight's consent agenda.
Thank you. Councilwoman Patty Reed.
Thank you, Mayor Bradbury. Regarding the consent agenda, I would like to make a motion to pass, approve, or adopt whichever action is appropriate. Items C1 through C13, inclusive with items C2, C3, and C4 being first reading prior to public hearing. The next public hearing will be held in council chambers on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 at 6 p.m.
Second the motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion by city council on items C1 through C13? Seeing none. Anybody in the audience have any questions on these items? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Section 5 is regular agenda, which we do not have any this evening. Moving on to Section 6, comments from City Council. Vice Mayor Sabel. Excuse me.
Thank you, Mayor. It's nice to see all the chairs filled up here again tonight. Is there anything going on this weekend?
Next weekend.
Clean up in the park. Awesome. And then next weekend, we have the what? The firefighters? They get a
Chili Blaze, Country in the Park.
good time. You gotta love this month, don't you? That's all I got.
St. Patrick's Day.
It's a good March.
Patty,
I got nothing.
nothing. No more horse shows coming up.
Next month, I don't know when
Okay. Butler, yay.
It's good to be back.
Good to have you back.
It's absolutely wonderful to have you back.
Yeah, thank you to all the people that were involved in my almost demise, and glad to be here. Looking to be stronger every day. Thank you again.
Well, there was a lot of people out there praying for you, so yeah, like that. Just glad their prayers were answered. I didn't think I'd see you here tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But you got somebody to tend to you to make sure you can make it. Thank you, Carol.
Thank God.
You gonna listen to her a little more now?
Who?
No, she's shaking her head no.
Of course I am.
Yes, dear, those are the
He
favors.
doesn't have his fingers crossed.
That's all for me.
That's all. Staff, what do we got? Miss Lana's got her hands full for the next couple of weeks, along with her staff.
Everybody is very busy. So this weekend, like he said, well, last Monday started free permits. It goes to the 24th of March. So everybody should come down, get your free permits for minor household improvements. This Saturday is spring cleanup. There's several locations you can find on our website and on Facebook and on TV. We also have next weekend Chili Blaze, Friday, March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, starting at 6. They're going to have live music, activities, lots of chili. It's always a great time. And then Saturday, March 18th, will be Country in the Park. We have a full band lineup beginning at noon. We have 2 full rodeos. Lots of activities, 6-gun territory, chases racing pigs, lots of crafters and vendors, obviously benefiting the local nonprofits. The Chamber has a great trade show, and our headliner is going to be at 8, and it's going to be Landco. So definitely come on out.
I haven't either.
Hey, Lana, I have a question for you. What was that event that was going on at OCC yesterday?
So OCC had the governor in town. I guess he wrote a book and is on tour promoting his new book.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mr. Nick? Staff? Miss Angela?
Yeah, well, reminder, with spring break next week for the kiddos at school, the farm will have visiting hours 10 to 2 all week long, so stop on by if you haven't been.
Kate? Miss LaSharon? Anything? Dan? Pass. Chiefs? Chili Blaze.
For those of you who don't know, Gary, who always comes to our council meetings, has his granddaughter with him tonight, which is Riley. Riley somehow along the line has become my adopted niece. And I'm only adopted her because she's a really good kid. She does really good in school. She's getting good grades. You brought the C up to a B, right? Okay. It's the good dad, bad dad kind of thing. When Gary doesn't do what she wants him to do, she calls me, and I have to do what she wants her to do. But anyways, bragging about her, she, you don't want to know. She goes to Northside Christian, where she is on the honor guard, and she is doing really well. They're actually top 3 in the entire state for honor guards.
Wow.
I'm proud.
Good job.
I was going to ask her to do a demonstration, but she yelled at me.
Anything else, Chief? Nothing? Nothing? Me? Well, I will tell you, I am very blessed and grateful that I have Rick over here again. So, it's a good day. We hope that everybody has a blessed couple of weeks, and we hope to see you out at the Chili Blaze fundraiser for MDA and Country in the Park, which is wonderful for our wonderful citizens and businesses. Have a blessed couple of weeks till we see you again. Meeting's adjourned.
Country in the Park returns on March 18th at England Brothers Park. This free event includes a variety of activities for the whole family to enjoy, including 2 rodeos, a 6-gun territory show, and food and drinks available for purchase. Live music will entertain the crowd all day leading up to this year's headliner, Landco. Make sure to save the date. Visit Pinellas-Park.com for more information.